What's up everybody, Tiffany Outdoors here. Today we're going to be working on that 10-gallon tank back there. Let me show you what I've done with it. There's the hawk. Before there was a Tiffany Outdoors, there was Tiffany the farmer.
On U-turn when possible.
No, we're not U-turning.
Hi. Hi, what are you doing? Hi, Boo. What?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The only thing I've done with this tank is do regular water changes and top-offs, which I haven't topped it off in a while because I knew I was going to be working on this project, and I let the algae grow on the glass just to see if the snails were going to be enough to clear all this algae, and they were not. You see I got some snails right here, which they probably have helped some, but believe it or not, even though you can't see that deep into this tank, the water is perfectly clear. I've checked the parameters, and the parameters are perfect. There's nothing wrong with this tank water. It's actually doing well. As you can see, all the plants have just filled in this whole tank. It's like a jungle in there. We're going to pull those plants out, trim them down, replant them, rescape this tank, and see how many fish are in here, because I'm pretty sure I have too many fish in here. So the fish that I'm going to keep some, and then the rest I'm going to be taking them back to the pet shop. Let me turn this around and talk to you for a second. So I did talk to the pet shop. They did promise me that they will not use them as feeders, that they'll sell them as regular fish. I won't get any money back, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep, there's one male Molly in there and one male Mickey Mouse Platy in there. I think I'll keep the orange male and leave the Mickey Mouse Platy male, take him back, and all of his harem, which are most of them are his daughters. And I'm going to keep a few of the orange ones. I really like the orange ones, so I'm going to keep a few of the orange ones. I'm going to dramatically reduce the amount of fish that's in this tank. Honestly, I don't know how many fish are in here. I really don't. I do know I've never seen any dead fish in here, so that's a good thing. And the water has always been really good, so I know everything is good in that respect. So first thing I need to do is take the plants out and find somewhere to put them, and then I can decide which plants I'm going to keep, which ones I'm going to give away or sell online, and then we'll go from there. Alright, let me get started. I'm going to start by removing the plants first and trying to figure out which ones I want to keep and which ones I want to get rid of. Look at that Java fern. Look at that. It grew inside this pot. It attached itself to it and started growing out of it. It looks amazing. And any snails and things that are on there, I'm going to keep those in there. And first thing I'm going to do is trim off some of this dead stuff, which I only see one dead leaf, but this plant looks absolutely amazing. Look at that growth. It looks amazing. Got a beautiful Marimo moss ball. Y'all, there's been some controversy about these. I'm very careful about where I dump my water. All of my water goes right into my front yard, and there's no way that any wastewater from these moss balls can get into our water system. And if you don't know about the thing with these moss balls, I'll talk about that at the end of this video. While I'm doing this, I'm going to show you how to keep these plants from going into shock. Just going to put some wet paper towel on top of them. And this is dechlorinated water in this also. You want to keep your plants moist. And that'll keep it okay. until I'm ready to go on to the next phase of this. Alright, I'm going to finish taking all the plants out of there, and then I'm going to remove the fish, and then we're going to rescape that tank. Alright, I've got the plants out. I've drained most of the water out of the tank into that bucket there, which this water is going to be reused in the new tank so that the new tank will be instantly cycled. Also, along with the old, that's right, the old filter, I'm going to be putting a new filter on there too. And I'm probably going to be running both filters on there for a while until the nitrates and nitrites, make sure that they're leveled out, make sure that we don't have any spikes that could harm the fish. And all the plants I want to get rid of are there, and all the plants that I'm keeping are here, at least for the most part. Alright, now that I've got a lot of that water out, now it's time to get the fish out, get them into this bucket, and then I'm going to aerate this bucket, put a bubble filter in here for them so that they can breathe, and then I have another tank. I'm going to take this tank down, and here's the other new tank. We're going to put that up there, scape it first, and then put it up there, and then go from there. Alright, now to get the fish out. Had a total of 18 fish in there. Obviously, that's way too many for that tank, but like I said, the water parameters were perfect, so with all those plants in there, that really helped balance out the nitrates and nitrites, which is what you really want to watch for, and did pretty good. So for the most part, most of those fish are going to go back to the pet store to be sold and get new homes. And now that I've got everything separated, now I want to clean up the rocks, the wood, and everything that I'm going to scape for the next tank. Now, when I first started this tank, I started off as a bare bottom tank, so there's no substrate or anything in there. So, but this tank, I'm going to have substrate, of course, more plants, and some wood in there. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started on scaping this tank. I'm really excited about this. Now with all the fish removed, I can finish draining the tank and get the largest snails out. Starting off with a fresh tank. And let's add some stuff. First layer is going to be crushed lava rock. And I got this at a what do you call it, a liquidation store, and it was on just a couple bucks. But I'm going to use this crushed lava rock to build up this side of the tank, and it's going to come down into like a little hill. So I'm going to build up this side. And the bacteria colonies, yeah, not colonies, the bacteria colonies will cultivate themselves in this layer here. My next layer is fluval stratum. This is for plants, and it's also good if you have shrimp too. So what I did is I took a piece of screen and put in the bottom of my colander, and then I'm going to put the substrate in here, and then I'm going to rinse it, and then we're going to put it in the tank.
game. It's a rich thing.
Java fern that grew right onto this pot. Joe bought me this pot when I first started doing this fish tank stuff, and I love how this Java fern attached to it and made it its home. I love that. I'm just gonna put this right here. Right over there, just like that. That looks good. This ginormous piece, look at that. Oh, y'all, when I first got these, they were little snippets, little tiny pieces. They weren't this big. Let's see. I'm just gonna set that right there. The thing about Java is it's an epiphyte plant, so you don't have to put it down into the substrate. I love it. When you're doing this type of stuff, you want to make sure you spray your plants often. You don't want them to dry out at all. I have some of these large accent stones. I'm going to set these on top of the wood because I'm hoping that this wood doesn't float as soon as I fill this tank up. So I'm going to be putting some rocks in here and make these look nice and pretty. Kind of like it's on a riverbank. And then later on, I can remove these rocks once the wood is all nice and waterlogged. Now to plant some of this beautiful rotala. Look at that. Nice, gorgeous, tall. I want to plant these in the background. Working on beautifully. I'm working on planting this beautiful rotala. Look at that. Just gorgeous. And this stuff is growing so well in this tank that I'm just going to pack this whole area full of it. The fish can swim in and out of it. It's going to look amazing. I have tons of this stuff.